Mall Santas of Reddit. What is the weirdest thing a kid asked for Christmas? Not a Santa, but I have been a Mrs. Claus for the last few years and I always ask the kids what they want while we do our crafts. My favorite was this 4-5-year-old girl that told me she wanted one of those loud horns. She made a gesture like she was using those canned air horns and she made a little horn sound. She said she wants to use it to wake up her baby brother when he naps in the daytime so he knows what it's like. Good reasoning skills. That kid's going places. When I was 5 years old, 49 years ago, I asked a Santa in JCPenney's at the time for a real lawnmower, the kind that my dad uses. They had me hold a microphone up to my mouth. My answer, along with every other kid I presume, was broadcast throughout the whole store. I can still hear the laughter from the adults. My 3-year-old son asked Santa once for a baby rhino. Santa told him that the baby rhino's mama would be very sad to lose her baby though. Then my son said, okay, well I'll take the mama too. Maybe she can sleep in my mom's bed. Good comeback by a quick thinking Santa. Haha. Not a Santa but an elf. I read a letter, maybe I shouldn't have, from a child who asked for a dolphin. Specifically not autistic. Not sure if he had had a bad experience with disabled dolphins or what, but he was about 6 years old. He's learned the hard way that wishes need to be extremely specific. Yesterday the big sister asked for a pet mouse. The little sister asked for a snake. My sister asked Santa for black men for Christmas. She meant men in black. My aunt, apparently, even young, sat on Santa's lap and asked for 3 black babies. To this day no one in our family knows what she meant. I worked in Russia as Snow Maiden. This is a Christmas character here. Santa Claus' granddaughter. One of the children in a wheelchair asked to walk again. It was hard. UPD. For peoples who wanted funny answer. In my practice was a boy who wanted a girlfriend. He was 5-6 years. Not me but my dad. A kid asked for his mom's milk. He was like 7. I was an assistant manager for a mall Santa with no programs. There was a special needs 20-something black guy that would come by nearly every day. He easily weighed more than 250 pounds, so we did eventually convince him to sit next to Santa instead of on his lap. Every time he had to remind Santa what he wanted for Christmas. His list was Home Alone on DVD, Straight Outta Compton on DVD, and Prince's 1999 album on CD. Santa was awesome and brought him the Prince CD a few days before Christmas. After waiting 2 hours in line, my daughter asked Santa for a hot dog. My daughter asked for pancakes one year. It was very cute, but then I had to get up and make pancakes on Christmas morning instead of being lazy. I once asked Santa for my parents to get a divorce. Savage. Not a mall Santa. My friend was one. He said that the weirdest thing he heard from a kid was a husband for his mom. That's sweet. My uncle was a Santa and he told me that one year a kid asked for a coffee maker because he wanted to start his own Starbucks coffee stand instead of a lemonade stand. Apparently business was not very good as a lemonade stand, but he noticed a lot of adults drink coffee, so he'd make coffee. That kid is probably a millionaire now. I know the weirdest thing I asked for was a pen that could write like a pen, pencil, marker, and crayon. I'd never seen one but was sure Santa could make it. I got a 4-color pen instead. All they needed to do was put a marker on one, a crayon on another, and a pencil in the last. Not the weirdest, but my favorite thing I have heard a kid ask for. At my daughter's preschool, there was a Santa. Kids were asking for the usual things, like toys and unicorns. One little girl goes up. You can tell she is thinking really hard. She asks for 2 rolls of tape. Dream big, kid. One year my cousin only asked for tape for Christmas and his birthday. He had created the superhero called Tapeman who saved the world with tape. His mom even made a really awesome costume for him. He definitely got a lot of cool pattern duct tape that year. A piece of toast. I like bread. For me to stop upholding this charade, you sit on a throne of lies. Many years ago a small girl would not tell her mother what she wanted for Christmas. Mom told me the problem and I was to tell her after the kid jumped off my lap. The little girl hopped up and told me she wanted some makeup and some tea. Okay, now I have to tell mom. Jimmy, you broke Santa. When I was a kid I asked for a Komodo dragon. There was a joke a radio host told that I heard about 10 years ago or so, and there was a mall Santa and this kid, and the kid wanted a Tonka truck that had a hitch or crane hook or something, and when it comes time to tell Santa what he wants the kid says I want a truck with a H. Was a Santa at a party last week. A kid asked for a whistle that she could blow at night to wake her mom up and scare her when she was sleeping. I said no, that would put you on the naughty list. Let your mom sleep, you little gremlin. Mom laughed. Good Santa. I once asked for bread with no crust. Come Christmas Day, I actually got an entire loaf of bread with no crust. When he was feeling better my Phil looked just like a real Santa. I used to mess with him around Christmas when we were out and about with a quick Rudolph needs to get back to the pole. We need to hurry. I got a lot of really great looks from kids. The best was a shy little girl that came up and asked for some specific doll. Without missing a beat he says I'm not sure what the heck that is but I'll have Legolas look into it. He always acted grumpy about it but we all know he loved every second. So literally last night we took my kids to see Santa and when asked what she wants for Christmas she says, a surprise. Santa was so surprised he didn't know what to say. What is the surprise? You can't keep us hanging. Not a mall Santa but once my sister asked Santa if she could have a horse's head and an ice cream cone. She explained that she was gonna paint the ice cream cone the color of the horse, stick it on, mount the horse's head to the wall and tell her friends she killed a unicorn. She doesn't remember. Such a sweet little Kai, oh my god. Not Santa. My kid, when he was younger, had a habit of visiting Santa once to ask for gifts, and then a few more times during the season just to say hi. Mom, can I see Santa? There's no kids over there and he looks lonely so I could hang out with him. Santa came to daycare. I didn't ask him for presents. I just reminded him that I was good this year. Good kid. I'm a teacher. I had one of my most difficult, obstinate, button pusher kids come in at recess to talk to me. He said he was worried he would not get what he really wanted, to be a real elf, move to the North Pole and make all the presents. He had tears in his eyes and was the most sincere I had ever seen. Made me really appreciate how hard life was at home. He just wished for a way out. When I was like 9 I wrote a goodbye letter to my parents telling them Santa was going to pick me up and take me to the North Pole. I sat out in our car and waited on Santa to show up and take me away. The most dumb thing about this was that it was the middle of the summer. Reindeer eggs so he could start his own franchise. Not a Santa, not even an elf, but my older sister is an elf this year, and a 6-year-old boy said that he just wanted Man United to win the league. What's best is that the Santa said I can't work miracles now kid. I'm not a mall Santa, but I heard this kid say, slam doll. You should have seen his parents' face. Probably for his parents to be honest. The kid got their parents back. I was a Santa in 1997 for a small, authentic Old West village. I was 17 at the time and doing some local theater and the costume lady was asked to find someone to be Santa for the weekend. She told me she thought of me because well you're not fat, but you're big, I'm 6 feet 6 1.98. So I put on a cheap costume that didn't fit well and the beard smelled like the last Santa threw up in it, and I waited in a prop shed in the plaza that was normally a sheriff office or something. Tall, skinny, smelly Santa in a shed sitting on a plastic lawn chair. It was no wonder all the children screamed when they were put on my lap. None of them asked for anything in fact, as they were too busy being scared of me. I had a pair of girls and later a pair of guys from the local Christian high school dressed as elves on the first day to take Polaroids and collect money. On the second day they flaked and I was by myself all day. I charged people money to enter my creepy shed and take pictures of their own kids. Except for one young lady who was probably older than me and severely mentally disabled. Her parents were so apologetic because she was too old but she sat on my lap and smiled at me with total naked joy. I can still see her face 20 years later. That last part is really heartwarming. I once asked for an elf to keep as a slave. Transarctic slave trade begins now. My 9-year-old kid asked for light bulbs. I am sure Santa wasn't expecting that. Worked as a Santa elf before. Sad part is low income neighborhood areas. Being in a large city is great, but with it come more problems. Sister-in-law was working with us at school function local mall where they held the Santa thing. Downright worst things that make you sad. One kid wanted a door because police broke his to arrest his dad and took him away. Also wanted dad back. One kid wanted her uncle to stop touching her at night. One other kid wanted running water and food for the house because mommy didn't have any. I have never volunteered to work there again, and yes, we did report these things to police as they happened, so there was some good, but dang. Worked as an elf for a couple years and we had this wish jar that you could put slips of paper in. A little girl wrote something down on a piece of paper and folded it and quietly slipped it into the jar. The mom came rushing back after they left asking if we could get the paper out of the jar for her. She unfolded it and in crayon it said, "I want dad to come home." The mother started crying and took it with her. Got some other weird and sad ones, but that one hit me right in the feels. Not a Santa, but when I was 4 I asked Santa to get rid of my dad's cancer. Santa cried. Mom cried. I was confused. Dad died on Christmas that year. That entire statement was a roller coaster I was not prepared for. It wasn't a mall and it wasn't weird, but the moment sure was awkward. My neighbor has this great Christmas display that he and his family put up every year. They usually had me to be Santa because I do a good Santa voice and am good with kids. One little girl came up to me and I do the usual "What would you like for Christmas?" She asked if I could bring her daddy back to life for Christmas. It took me by surprise. He was killed in a car accident and this would be her first Christmas without him. Very sympathetically I told her that unfortunately, even though I, Santa, can do many things, bringing her dad back was something I couldn't do. It clearly broke her heart because she probably thought Santa could actually do it. I told her that even though her daddy may not be with her now, he will always be with her in spirit and he will always love her. So I'm from the Netherlands, and we have Sinterklaas, basically the origin from Santa. It had some controversy worldwide last couple of years, and one kid wanted a gun. We have strict gun laws. No way that's gonna happen. As an American, Zwart Piet was a very interesting, surprising holiday character to encounter when I was over there. Not a mall Santa, but a child asked for his parents to love him dearly. It's weird how young kids know so much and can pick up signals easier mental. That's very sad. Not technically a mall Santa, but my neighbor was a Santa for a community brunch years ago and a little girl asked for a cheeseburger. Not that odd on its own I suppose, but an odd request for the holiday and from such an important and magically being. One does not ask small favors from a king, after all. During college, I was a department store Santa. One little girl, with her mother looking on at a distance, whispered, "Please bring a boyfriend for mommy. Ever since daddy died she's been so lonely. That's what I really want for Christmas, Santa." I looked up at her loving mother, and back at the girl, and felt a lump in my throat. Goddamn, if this was a Hallmark movie, you'd have asked the mom out and become that girl's stepfather. My kid asked Santa for Thor's hammer. Christmas morning he opens up Thor's hammer, so happy. First thing he did was chuck it across the living room and into the kitchen. Dishes smash, glass all over the floor. Kid was freaking pissed, didn't come back to him. The look on his face, pure Christmas devastation. I'm not a mall Santa, I'm the thing that the kid asked for. My sister asked for a sibling. 9 months later, she got her gift, me. She should have asked for a different gift. Okay, one time I asked for coal, like, I didn't know where to get some. We had a gas fireplace. I wanted it in order to make a face on a snowman. We celebrate Christmas Eve with a large family gathering, traditional Polish food, and Santa. Either an uncle or unknown neighbor gets the honors. Drunk uncles and cousins end up on the roof. There have been injuries, making reindeer stomping noises, and the young kids really get excited. I'm mid-50s and this has been a tradition well before I was born. I have a ton of stories about Santa on Christmas Eve. One of the most memorable a few years ago when one of my cousin's kids played Santa. His girlfriend went up to sit on Santa's lap and get her gift. She didn't know it was him at first. The gift she opened was her ring and he proposed. It was really sweet, but it took her forever to say yes. I thought for a few minutes she was going to say no, in front of his entire extended family. So Santa got his wish this time. Another cousin ended up becoming a professional Santa. Real beard and all. He is the official Santa of some major Christmas events in our area and is on local TV and radio. Off topic. Sorry, I just love the fact this is my family member. He's an Uber driver as well and drives in full Santa garb during the holidays. I love my family. Not a mall Santa, but my younger brother asked Santa if he could bring our parents back together into a marriage. This cat is shocked that you haven't liked this video yet. Like it fast so they can calm down. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.